Good evening, and welcome to Bourbon, Bikes, and Business with Blaise and Hank. Tonight, we've got two special guests. The first time, actually, we had a guest on the show, beside Hank's wife, who we had on the other week.
It's also the first time we've ever been in the same place.
Yeah, it is, true. And I got a crazy setup here so that Hank can hear our guest. But here we go anyway. So we got Jake and Andy from the PA Dirtbags, which I'm going to let them talk a little bit about that. But the topic tonight is the pants route. As you know, if anybody's been following our podcast, us two crazy guys decided to do the pants route in July. I think it's the 2nd to the 6th. We're going to try to tackle this thing. It'll be an adventure for sure. So we thought, let's reach out to the guys who did the pants route and learn a little bit from them. So that's who we got today, Jake and Andy. So I guess I'll start off by... let's go as we normally do. What's everybody drinking tonight? So let's go with Jake. What do we got on your table there?
Well, it's Bourbon, Bikes, and Business. I had a little bit of problem with your title. I thought maybe it should be Beers, Bikes, and Business. So yours is singular, but mine's plural. So I brought one and a couple more to follow.
Yeah,
Cool. That's great. That's excellent. That's great. And Andy, what do you got on the table tonight?
I wanted to get a Pennsylvania, so I took this off my girlfriend's bar cart.
Ooh,
Got
Dad's hat.
rye
Cool.
whiskey.
Perfect.
Pennsylvania rye whiskey.
Very
Yeah.
good.
Yeah.
Very good.
Yeah, for sure.
Rye's a good thing. I haven't had that one. So I'm trying the new rye myself tonight. I've got, what do I got here? Knob Creek 7-year rye, 100 proof. It's actually pretty good. A lot of spice going on there. Hank, what do you
So,
got?
I went all bougie tonight. I got the Maker's 46 cast string.
He's
One
got
of my
the high-end
favorites.
stuff as always.
So cheers, everyone.
Yeah. Thank you
Cheers.
for
So
coming
great
on.
show. Thank you
Cheers,
so much
dudes.
for joining us.
Yeah,
Really appreciate
great. So I guess we'll hop right in. Jake, tell us a little bit about the PA Dirtbags, which I still haven't looked at your site. So I'm really interested to hear, how did it come about? What are you guys all about, and what do you do
That's
throughout
probably
the
a
year?
good thing you didn't check it out. But anyhow, yeah, it's just a eclectic group of idiots that have been riding bikes and drinking beers and skiing since forever. We've been doing it for a while, and we put it on Instagram and make rides and drink beers. Here we are.
Cool. And you're based out of Central PA?
Yeah, I mean, it's not one person. It's just a group of us, but a lot of us grew up in Central PA, and we've morphed across the state. And you're a Pennsylvania dirtbag, just being here.
Yeah, exactly.
So you guys race together at all, or you ride? I guess you ride together, but race together, anything like that?
Andy and I, yeah, we met racing bikes, road bikes, and most of the people that are dirtbags we've met on gravel rides, mountain bike events, and it just keeps growing. Now we're on Instagram, YouTube, Facebook, and people just keep joining. They just keep signing up. We can't keep them away, you know.
That's cool.
Cool.
I mean, we've been riding together for, I guess, 15 years, give or take. And Hank trained me on my first century ride around Lake Tahoe. So that was my first ride. And that's how we met, actually. He was like a coach. So we've known each other for a little while. So we do a lot of rides. One of our famous rides we talk about is up in Lancaster. We do the ice cream ride, follow the buses around
It's my
Lancaster.
favorite. Love that ride.
Yeah.
So we do that every summer, in the heat of the summer, have a good time. But
Andy, what's your cycling background?
So yeah, Jake mentioned I met him. We were doing the Green Mountain Stage Race up in Vermont. And I'm with a team called Cumberland Valley Collective. So it's a South Central Pennsylvania racing team. Jake's on the team as well, but so it's kind of like a partnership. Dirtbags and a couple dirtbags race road bikes, but dirtbags is mostly mountain biking and skiing, I'd say, for the most
Awesome.
part.
Very good. Very good. So let's talk a little about the pants route. Hank, you might want to grab that mic just to be a little closer. Tell us a little bit, how did the pants route come to be in the first place, I guess, because it's a pretty gnarly thing.
Well, as Andy alluded to, the CVC, Cumberland Valley Collective Bike Club, there was a bunch of guys that are into bike packing, and we talked about this pants ride, and the dirtbags in me was just like, man, this is really rad. Let's just do it. And it was kind of like 2 or 3 years where we talked about this route that our friend Darren created from a ride with GPS route. And I'm like, this is so rad. We've done all these different parts of Pennsylvania. I know the gravel's good. I haven't ridden it all. And finally, I was just like, screw it. I just text everybody I knew, and we're going this date. And people fizzled out. Andy and Alex showed up on my front porch, and my old man drove us to the Pennsylvania border. Andy showed up with some ratchet straps, and we just took off.
I just mentioned that to my other half that she's got to get us there. She's heard that we're going to do this route. She goes, "Well, I'm going on vacation." Like, you can't go anywhere until you drop us off.
Dude, she's got 4 days, man.
You're right. So sad. It's funny. So that's cool. So how many people did it when you guys did the inaugural ride, I guess? How many people were on the ride?
The inaugural ride was myself, Andy, and he pulled his brother Alex. So there's 3 of us.
Have you done it again since, or just one time?
We have not. There's been a few people that have reached out to us and got the route from us. Large Marge, that's her Instagram handle. She took the single speed record in late fall. And she actually rode from New York to the bottom of the Pants route over to Pittsburgh and back up to Erie. She's training for a crazy ass race. Yeah, she's wild. And then this other dude, Stu, was like, he saw it after unpaved, and he's like, "Dude, send me the route." And he went out and did it in 20 some hours in the rain in like November. Yeah, so he's got the FKT, fastest known time right now.
Oh my God.
And right now we have a bunch of people that some dudes and chicks that are just crushing bikes, and they're looking to break the FKT this summer. So we never know.
That's nuts. I did Unbound. I only did the 50 last year for the first time. Had a blast. I spent 4 days in Kansas. Oh my God, that is such a cool event. It's really neat out there. We got to meet all the people you see on YouTube and all the crazy. I went out for my warm up ride, and there's Lachlan Morton coming past me. It was like, cool.
That's rad.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun. A lot of fun. Cool.
So I got to know, we've watched the video a couple times. You talk about how much climbing there is, and I wrote down all the distances and the elevation and everything. What is the climbing like? Is it short, steep stuff, or are you just kind of grinding slowly up the mountain all day long?
Yeah.
I mean, it depends. There's a lot of like short, kind of not super steep. I mean, you're gonna want like some good gearing, like a good gravel gearing, so that you can take it slow. Because if you're like me, you have 50 pounds of stuff on the back of your bike.
Yeah.
So that makes it a little bit easier. But I'd say there's really only one climb that I thought was really hard, and that was up to Bearcat's bungalow. And that was so steep, like your wheels coming off the ground a little.
40%?
Yeah, that was a bad one. But I think it depends on what route you take if you even end up on that climb, though. That's right by Raystown Lake.
Okay.
I mean, I'm from Pennsylvania. I've been up to the gorge area. I've fly fished. I told Jake I've fly fished Penns Creek over the years. I know the southern, but it's some gnarly climbs. I mean, you're going through the Appalachians and some on that route. You're going everywhere. So
yeah, a wise friend of us told us it's like a cork in the ocean, up and down, up and down. That's all it was, up and down all day long.
Yeah.
Yeah, I did a Hincapie ride in Chattanooga a couple of years ago, and that was like, it was on the road, and it was the same thing. It was like really up, really down.
The Smokies. Now, I don't mean to offend by asking age or whatever, but it seems like you guys are much younger than us. One of our concerns is you have youth and enthusiasm perhaps on your side. What was your general age range when you did the trip and train?
Well, I'll take over. I listened to your previous podcast when you guys discussed the Pants route, and you said, if you're listening, guys, I don't mean to offend you, but I know you're not no Tour de France riders. Right, we are not. I thought you might ask how many beers we drink a week, but our age is 30s, mid 30s. I don't know how old Andy is. How old are you, Andy?
Yeah, I'm 31. My brother is 33. So yeah, we're all mid or late 30s.
I'm the elder.
I'm late 30s.
I'm surprised to learn that. I'm just learning that now. I thought you were younger.
It doesn't matter about your age, Blaise. You just go and you just take your time.
I got my physical today, and I was talking to this doctor. He was an ex-Army medic who moved from California, and he's a runner. He said, "I'm going to get into biking." So I was telling him about biking around here and stuff. But Hank, if you saw our last podcast, Hank talked about we started the ride. I think we were 3/4 way up the 6 mile climb, and I said, I'm pulling over and my heart rate's at 176. I got to catch my breath. And he was worried at that point. Are we ever going to get out of the woods?
We don't have a doctor with us. We don't have cell phone reception. This is not good.
You don't need it.
We had dogs chasing us. We had all kinds of shit going on.
Yeah, just slow and steady. I mean, we took our time, right? Like, I think every day we were on the bike probably 8 hours, 8 or 10 hours. Like, we would stop, hang
10
out,
to 12,
eat, like, you know.
Yeah, we weren't rushing anything. If there was a general store, we stopped. Andy probably had about 4 Mountain Dews. I'd grab some whoopie pies, and Alex would have some sort of Slim Jim or something. We just chill out, and it was 70, 80 miles, at least 8 hours on the saddle.
Yeah.
So that was one of my questions. So what did you do in the way of preparation, if anything, for this ride? Differently than you've done on other adventures in the past?
Not a whole lot. This was like adventure number 1. I think we said in the video that none of us had ever been bike packing. Well, I guess Alex had done it once, but he did like a road 2-day trip or something. Right. I don't know. But yeah, we didn't really know what we were doing. Talked to some of the other guys who planned the route, and I was in a group chat with them, and I was like, hey, here's my plan. I'm going to get a rack for the back of my mountain bike, and I'm going to get 2 dry bags, and then I'm going to just strap them on there. Is that going to work? And they were like, yeah, that's going to be fine. Like, don't worry about it. And yeah, sure enough, it worked out. It worked out fine. So, I mean, all you need to. Yeah.
So,
well, his trip in the Smokies with me was his first backpacking trip. And he shows up with this huge, like 30-pound army backpack on. Yeah. And I'm like, oh my God.
I kept wanting to bring more stuff and more stuff.
Yeah. We got warned about backpacks. Everybody was like, don't do that. It's going to be really annoying after an hour. And I had a camelback, like a big camelback, and I took it off and strapped it on the back after like an hour. Just like they said, it's better to just have everything on the bike.
I mean, my goal is 30 pounds max. That's all I'm going to have.
Good luck, man.
Yeah. I think my tent weighed 30 pounds.
Yeah.
How much camping outside did you actually do? I know you stayed in the bungalow one night, right?
Yeah. So first night was planned to stay at Donnie's Mountaintop Provisions. We're going to camp outside. But Donnie met us. He had dinner with us. He's like, dudes, I got a cabin right down the road. Very rustic, but very romantic. We crashed there. Luckily, it rained overnight. So we were planning on camping overnight. And the second night, we camped at Poe Patty. We reserved the campsite. And the third night we stayed, we were supposed to stay outside again at Bearcat's bungalow. But for some reason, it was kind of like Jesus and Mary. They just like made room for us in the inn. And we slept on the floor and got up super early to crush the last 100-mile day.
Wow. So what was the hardest day out of the 4? It sounded like the first day was pretty challenging.
Man, the last day is really bad. You're just trying to get to Hancock. You keep like, if you have the Garmin that shows you the climbs, you just see like one after another just keeps coming up. And it can be a little disheartening, but
see, I don't like looking at that. Although when I did my bike across Maryland, I had to. I was like, oh, here we go. Look at this. Like you said. And then you just see this straight up for like
the horrible computers we had. They all 3 of them, everything's just beeping. It's just horrible. Like shut those things off. But luckily, the last day you can subtract 1,400 feet because on the route, the turnpike tunnels, it thinks you go over the mountain. But you actually
go in at the old turnpike tunnel.
Subtract 1,400 feet of climbing.
That's not bad. Nice. I'll take any break I can get. Yeah. That's fine.
We're like, there's 5,000 feet of climbing left. Andy's like, mine just dropped to about 2 left. Like, oh yeah.
That's cool. So you do go through that tunnel. I met a girl who was walking around the world out in Western Maryland, I think last year, and she had come through the tunnel on her way out to the Gap Trail, going out the Gap.
That's something I've always wanted to do, is ride that old section of turnpike. Yeah. So
it looks spooky.
It's really cool. It is spooky. And I think, Jake, was it your dad who told us that they stopped using them because they were like not safe to be inside of? So you go in. Well. I think that's what he said. Anyway, he's like, you go through the tunnel. It's pitch black in there, so you have to have a light, and you try to dodge potholes, and there's graffiti all over the walls. But I mean, it's super cool. Like you don't get to do that kind of thing a lot.
Did you come across any animals, anything like that? I mean, I imagine you're pretty well out there for a good part of the trip.
I
don't think so.
we were looking for deer. Andy wanted to see some deer coming from the inner city Philadelphia. This man wanted to see some deer. I'm like, dude, you're gonna see some deer. We
Get
didn't
down,
see
ride the
any
CNO.
wildlife,
I
man.
see herds of deer every day. I go out and ride the CNO.
We barely saw a freaking bird, dude. It was
Oh
like
wow.
I expected rattlesnakes,
Yeah.
rabid dogs, crazies. I mean, it was like no rain, 80 degrees, sunny every day, dry, no animals. I guess we got lucky. I don't know.
Yeah.
So tell me a little bit about the environment. Is it cell phone reception? Are you near towns the whole time, or are you really out in like wilderness area?
You're out in the wilderness. Like when we're in, I think Pope Patty, there was no cell service in Pope Patty, if I remember that right.
Right.
Yeah, like when you're kind of in the middle of the state outside of the towns, it's pretty hit or miss. Like you're definitely not getting cell service in some places.
Yeah.
So you can't
Only when
really
you come
plan
down the
on it.
holler and there's a general store, maybe if you're lucky, right?
Maybe. Yeah.
Yeah, if you need to like emergency services, you're gonna have to either hike a bike till you get like a bar, but for the most part, you got nothing. And even just food, you know, the Exxon store, the Great American Highway, like that was our last stop until Pope Patty, and then even to the next day when we got to the next general store. So at least 24 hours, Exxon was the only thing we had.
Wow.
Yeah.
And we tried to find beer, but we couldn't find any beer. It's crazy.
Really?
The necessities.
How about water? I mean, did you guys drink water that you took with you from the stores or streams, or what did you do on water?
I had the Camelback bladder. So I had two bladders, one in my bike frame, and then I had one on my Camelback.
Mhm.
But there were enough places to stop that I really only needed the one bladder in my frame. So it's like a 3 liter, big Camelback bladder.
Yep.
And then, when you stop at a store or whatever, we would just buy like a couple of gallons of water and just dump them in there.
Right.
And then most campsites had like a sink or something or a hose that you could use,
Right.
put some water in it. So water wasn't too big of an issue, actually. You just
And
had to
then-
make sure
and
when
then-
you had the chance to get water that you were getting it.
Yeah. That's always the case when you're on a long trip like that.
No
Well-
shortage of porta potties either.
Yeah,
Everything. There's always a
really?
porta potty somewhere, man.
Oh, you
Funny.
got plenty
Andy-
of force though.
Yeah, well that too. But Andy knew how to find the porta potties, especially at right before the what was that forest called, Andy?
Oh, the old growth forest.
The old growth forest.
Yeah.
They didn't cut the trees down. Andy pooped in that porta potty right before we got there.
You got to keep an eye out. Construction sites are great,
Yeah.
Yeah,
Right. Oh yeah.
Yeah,
Definitely.
they don't lock them up.
Yeah. Right. They're always open. How about food? So, like, what did you guys do for food? Did you take a lot of food with you? You take dried food or peanut butter and jelly or beans or what? What were you doing for food?
Whatever you could get your hands on. I mean, you can't start with a lot, right? Because you got to
Right.
carry it all with you. So
Yeah.
you just stock up whenever you get the chance at a convenience store. So we
Mhm.
ate a lot of gummy bears, Cliff Bars, whoopie pies, just anything. What would we get at Dandy Mart? Pizza, hot
Pizza.
dogs,
Chicken bacon ranch pizza.
yeah, Red Bulls, anything, sugar, whatever you got. Because we were burning 7,000 calories a day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so you just gotta
Yeah.
keep eating.
I'm looking forward to the whoopie pies. You did a great job reviewing all the different ones. That's
Thank
that's
you.
kind of like one of my favorites. Anytime I go to Amish land, I call them gobs, but I know they go by both names. Is that blasphemy to call them gobs up in that
You're
area?
gonna put this on our Instagram page. You're gonna have wolves at you, man. Whoopie pies.
I had never
That's
heard
a
that
Penn
word
State guy
gob.
talking. That's
I
why.
I mean, Linda's had the best whoopie pie, but it said white gob, and it still can't be the best because it said white gob.
Yeah.
So what were some of the big challenges or hurdles you had on this adventure the first time?
Well, I started with a
Everything.
flat, so
This guy, I never go anywhere without a flat. That's why I call it Adventures with Hank every time I ride with
I
him.
think
He
we
gets
all had a flat within the first 10 miles.
every
yeah,
time.
Alex,
Really?
we had some. Well, it was self-inflicted flats. Mine was my tire just leaked air from the start. I think because my tubeless valve was like messed up. So I got to Jake's house and put a tube in on the driveway.
Before we left,
Before we even left, yeah, I was changing. I put a tube in, And then actually when we got back, I realized I never even taped the rim. So it was just like I don't know how that tube survived, but it did. But my tire, Jake will tell you, my tire was like wiggling the whole trip, like it wasn't seated right.
That's a
Um,
killer too.
Oh,
That is just
yeah,
a
and
killer.
then I think
I got a spitter within 5 miles on the pavement, and thought that was going to be the rest of the trip. And then your brother, he did a number.
yeah, Alex forgot to put tubeless sealant in his tire, so it kept getting low. Like every 30 minutes, we'd have to stop, and he'd pump it back up with his hand pump.
oh,
And then about 2 hours or 3 hours into that, he goes, "You know what? You know what happened here? I never put sealant back in here." So, so we got him. We got some sealant in there, and then we were good to go. But yeah, we. Other than that, though, no mechanicals. So that was nice.
So, it looked like, I mean, you did a great job videoing the whole thing and producing the whole thing. It
Yeah,
looked like
really.
you had some drone coverage and stuff. Was the video work done by a third party, or was this you guys just like putting it together?
Yeah, like I said, it was just three of us, me, Alex, and Andy. I actually crashed my drone at the Hummelstown Crit Race the weekend before. I paid an extra $200 to have it expedited, a new one to me with the insurance, and showed up the day before we left. And I was like texting these guys, like, dude, I'm not gonna have the drone to make this video. Shows up, didn't even calibrate it or anything, just friggin' flew it up. And I flew the drone, and then we just passed a GoPro around, and that's the whole film.
That's it.
That's
Yeah.
it.
Every now and then, Jake would be like, "Hey, I'm gonna sit back here," and then you guys like we'd ride up a hill or through the woods or whatever, and then we'd turn back around and come back, do it again. Or Jake would give me the GoPro, I'd go up the hill, sit at the top, and then wait for them to pass and like film them while they were going by. So
but it was
tried to be
mostly ad
efficient
hoc, is
about
what
it.
you're saying. You just
Oh
winging
yeah,
it.
everything except Andy's like, oh man, dude, it was third or fourth day, dude. This is such a great spot. It's like this open field, this gravel road in the middle of nowhere. Like, oh, dude, you're right. This is dope. Let's just do this. And we get this drone out, and this truck comes coming by, and I film it. It's in the show, and then they're running down this path. It's not actually part of our route, and the truck starts backing up, and he's got three dogs in there. He's got like a pistol on his hip,
Oh my
and
gosh.
he's like, that road ain't going nowhere. I'm like, shit, I wish this camera was running right now. I'm like, oh yeah, we're just you just want to hit this road. He goes, that's just a cornfield at the bottom. That's a liability. I'm like, all right, man, like we're coming right back. We'll get it right out of here. And he's he just looked at me, put his truck back in gear, and drove off. And we're like, oh shit, dude, let's get out of here.
It's like the rage
Yeah.
story.
Like the Smoky Mountain experience, we went past so many different yards and
Right.
what looked like meth lab trailers just had signs out front that said, "Don't come on the property, we will shoot." And you just keep riding, just haul ass.
Keep going, dude. Don't stop. I'm like, dude, let's get out of here. Let's go.
So what's the total elevation on this thing? Is it 28,000 feet, something like that?
Minus 1,400.
Minus 1,400.
Yeah.
That
sounds right.
27, 369 feet, 333 miles.
Man.
What kind of
We're
training
getting-
did you guys do leading up to this?
Yeah, I think just our normal. I mean, Andy and I and Alex, we both ride. Andy rides a lot more than I do. I tell you that much. Maybe a couple thousand miles a year, but nothing crazy. I think I listened to your podcast earlier, and you guys were talking about doing this many miles each week, and that's basically it's just having a consistent mileage, getting a couple long ones in. And
Right.
that's all you need. I mean, honestly, dude, we were going probably 12 miles an hour we average every day.
Yeah.
We're just chilling, riding bikes. Like
Right.
we're not crushing it, nothing crazy.
Yeah, I think like I said in the video, there's really no way to replicate 60 to 100 miles 4 days straight. Like you do the best that you can do, and then the rest is just fueling yourself, I think.
Your
And-
body acclimates,
Yeah.
I found
Yeah.
it. When I did my bike across Maryland, I think I did 330 miles in 4 days and averaged about 75, 85 a day. I was surprised it wasn't that bad. Now, I was on the road a lot. I did climb, I think it was 12,000 feet. It wasn't anything like this, but it wasn't that bad at all. It was very enjoyable, except for getting run over by the chicken 18-wheelers full of chickens. And I think the Eastern Shore of Maryland, I thought I was going to die for sure. But outside of that, it was pretty cool adventure. And I did it by myself, which is crazy too.
I
But
think to your question, which was the hardest day? Andy said the fourth day. I think Alex and I, the first day was the hardest.
Just kind of
It's
getting
just-
into the groove.
yeah, like you're used to your like 50-mile ride where you're gonna drink a little bit, eat a little bit, but
right.
we only had one slice of chicken bacon ranch pizza at the Dandy Mart, and ran out of water. And the last climb was what 1,200 feet up to Donnie's cabin,
Hmm.
and dude, we were out of water. Andy had like was dripping it out of his tube, like holding this thing out. We were like chickens, and that was the hardest day for me. We both bonked, out of food, out of tasty cakes, out of water, and just getting adjusted to like eating. Like you just got to keep eating, keep every
Yeah.
stop, food,
Yeah.
food.
Right. When you're burning that much calories.
Yeah, you don't want to
really do
bonk
have
in the middle of a 100-mile ride for sure. That's
You have to
misery.
be constantly feeding yourself all day, or else, yeah, you're definitely gonna bonk for sure.
Yeah, I remember Po Patty when we woke up, like I felt I was already like bonked in the morning. Like you could tell that I needed to eat but we didn't have any food. The only thing we had was like for dinner the night before Jake made like these what are they like astronaut meals or something? It's like freeze dried scrambled eggs and gravy or something.
Doesn't feel like you really ate much by the time you're done.
Yeah, it's like it's like an 800 calorie thing or whatever, but that's like nothing when you burn 7,000. So Jake made those over his jet boil, and we put too much water in and didn't seal the bag, so it's just turned into soup. It was like eggs, lasagna soup, egg and lasagna soup. It wasn't too good. So yeah, you just like you learn after a little bit that you need
Right.
to eat even if you don't feel like eating.
Yeah.
So we went to after Po Patty's. We kind of come down the hill to Homan's General Store, and when we got there, I think I had a turkey sub, like 2 bags of Skittles, 2 Cokes, and a cookie or a whoopie pie or something. But like, yeah, it was just such a weird experience to be bonked like when you start the day out.
Yeah, that would be my biggest fear would be not having enough food to eat and missing the window
Missing
where I
the
should have bought
right.
something there and didn't get it and carry it with me, because that's
Yeah,
a nasty
we
feeling when you're starving and you got a long ways to go. I've been in that
we
situation before.
we got smart. What was the morning when Jake took us to the McDonald's and he's like, just stock up on sandwiches right now. We're not going to see a store for 50 miles. And so Alex had
Yeah.
a pannier bag, and you could see all like sticking out the whole day. He had a Big Mac sticking out of his pannier bag.
Just keep hitting that plus sign on that touchscreen,
Yep.
man.
It doesn't matter what it
No,
is. You're going to eat whatever's in there because it doesn't
Yeah,
matter.
exactly.
It's like,
It's all gold.
yeah.
What was your endurance experience going into this? Had you ever done a long ride, or were you mostly short kind of crit racers? Or
Well, we did what's the unpaved one year? 120 miler.
Yeah.
okay,
So we
I
had
think
done
most of our training revolves around short rides when we can, but then free days getting 80 miles or so. But like I said earlier, getting a couple long rides in, it's crazy. It helps you so much. But short rides throughout the week or something. But we travel to as many gravel events as we can, unpaved, Hush Money Hoonanny, Michaud Gravel, all the Transylvania events, and
We ride
it was all
Michaud.
long.
That,
Yeah.
that's a lot of climbing up there. It feels like you're never going flat.
If you're in Pennsylvania, you're just going to be up and down.
Yeah. I did Grusk last year, which is, if you've never done that, that's a really, really cool event.
I've
down
not.
in
I
West
wanna do that.
Virginia. Check that out. I think it's in May or no, it's June.
Closest we got is the Quick and the Dead out at
Oh.
Mount Davis. Yeah.
Cool.
so I know one of our challenges in the Smokies was that
Just
gra-
one?
Yeah, I said one. I said one. One of the challenges, aside from the Razorbacks that were
Right.
chasing us, was the type of gravel they had, which I had never seen before. So it was thick like snow. Like you were grinding through this super, and maybe it was just brand new. Maybe they just put it down for the season, but you were going up like 10% grades in this super thick gravel. What is kind of the gravel condition? I know you said there wasn't much pavement. It was like 80% gravel or whatever. What kind of gravel can you expect?
For road condition, I guess, in general.
Andy invented the gravel scale on this ride, so he can take over.
Yeah, we started categorizing the gravel because it's not consistent, right?
I would
So
say
we
you probably
had
got a little bit of everything,
yeah,
probably.
you get to chunky gravel. We had blue collar gravel, which was what we thought was just like, just laying down stone, making a fire road to get up to the cell towers or whatever. We called
Right.
that blue collar gravel. We had white collar gravel, which was like a little more luxurious, I
Nice. Yeah.
guess. God's gravel was the pinnacle of gravel. That's what you get in Bald Eagle, right, Jake? Is that where we
Yeah.
were with God's
The
gravel?
RB winner,
Oh, RB win.
Sand Hill Road on unpaved. Yeah,
God's gravel is where you want to be.
Nice.
we
But yeah,
made
you
it.
get a little bit of everything out on this route for sure.
Budget gravel.
Oh yeah, budget gravel. That's like blue collar
Anything thrown
gravel
in,
that's been
huh?
left there for a
It's like
couple of
county
years.
laying down stone from the quarry.
Yeah,
Yeah,
right.
right.
Here's a road, boys.
Yeah.
Go throw something on it.
And then how much of it was, if any, was just like hacking your way through a forest and getting through trails? I know there was that one section that looked
Yeah.
like you were climbing over trees and stuff.
That was like 10 minutes, probably.
Everything
That's
else
it.
was just kind of gravel roads for the most part.
Yeah, you just got to get from one gravel road to the other, so you have to like hike through the woods. That was the only part like that.
I hope we don't hit it before like a bad storm, because like my buddy and I did the Greenbrier Trail last year, and we did it right before a nasty storm. I think we had a hurdle in like a 40-mile stretch, 50 piles of trees. With the bike pack, hit all the gear over the trees. Like, I don't know how many times on that day. It was crazy. I think we got more of a workout hurdling the trees that were down than we did riding the bikes. It was nuts.
Yeah, I think the pants video, it makes it look like there's a lot more, but it was probably 10 minutes. I mean, it is just dialed in gravel. There's nothing. If I could do it every year, I would just do this every year. This ride.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can't wait. I mean, it's going to be a hell of a challenge with the altitude.
You guys can do it.
I ride the CNO most days, and we have great riding around here. We have the Appalachian Mountain, so I just
We
have
have
to
the
get out
Loudon
there.
gravel too, which is some of
A
the
lot
best
of gravel,
in the country.
yeah, right across the river in Virginia. I call it luxury gravel in Loudoun County, which
White,
is like,
white collar.
well, here's what it is. You have stone walls with like 17th century mansions, and you only get passed by a Maserati or like a horse trailer.
Like
That's
big
it,
horse estates.
Yeah,
Like crazy.
I mean, it's like super mega wealth, and there's hardly any cars on it, but it's again all kinds of gravel. You get a little bit of everything. It's
Formula One gravel.
you have to come down this way. I'll show you around. In
Yeah.
Loudoun County, they have the most gravel roads of any county in the
No way.
U.S. And
Wow.
it's beautiful, and it's
That
right
sounds
along
rad.
the Potomac River here. And there's tons of wineries and breweries, distilleries all on the ride. It's just great.
Well,
Really
now
nice.
Bourbon's Bikes and Business totally makes sense now.
Yeah,
I get it.
All coming together for you.
yeah.
Yeah, just took a couple bush lights, but I'm getting it.
Yeah. And if you like mountain biking, we also have Gambrel, the watershed up here. I don't know if
Right.
you've ever done that, but it's some of the best mountain biking in the country.
Yeah.
Gambling.
And they actually have the, I think, like Junior
National
Nationals
Championships,
championship up there now.
Yeah.
I mean, it's serious. I go there and ride like the easiest trail because otherwise you're hucking off like boulders and stuff. It's craziness.
Yeah.
The heck, dude.
Wow. We got to make a trip
He's got a
down
lot of
there.
different bikes. I'm more just gravel. I used to be a roadie, but now I sold my Venge a while ago, a couple of years ago, and I had a Crux, and now I have my Salsa Cutthroat. So I just adventures and
So when do you
gravel.
guys do? When are you guys doing the pants route?
First week of July.
July
the
2nd to the
through the
6th.
6th.
is the goal. Yep. So
There's an open invite for you guys to join, by the way. We'd like any experienced travelers to be coming with us to make sure we live through this thing.
yes, if you
So-
know anybody that wants to come do it with us, hook us up with them.
I think anybody you would ask it knows me. You don't want me to give you any advice.
Well, it sounds like you'd be the comic relief,
Yeah, right.
if nothing else.
That's one
We
way to
could,
put it.
Yeah.
yeah, we can come say hi, and then when you guys are camping in the woods, we'll go home.
Yeah, you can come out and, play tricks on us coming out of the forest. And
Well, we are planning the sequel to the pants route, and
Yeah, tell us about that.
we're
Jake, tell me.
headed west to east this year, and it's the
Pennsylvania.
Jorts route.
oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
420 miles and 38,000 feet of climbing, I think. Going through the PA Wilds, Kinzu Bridge, back through the Grand Canyon, Loyal Sock State Forest, and Northeast PA, which is very
I was gonna
elusive
say.
to us.
Yeah.
But there should be a bigger and better video, more people, more excitement, more drama, more beer, hopefully.
Wow. That's how many days you plan mapping that out over?
We were shooting for 4, but I think we're gonna make it to 5 so we
Yeah.
can, enjoy the scenery, the creeks. Lots of creeks
Oh,
in
yeah.
the north central. I mean, just up and down, and maybe catch some elk.
Mm-hmm.
And
Potter County. Yeah, there's elk up
yeah.
there. Yeah.
So
Yep.
you guys have families that you have to plan around, or you guys just kind of go bike whenever you choose?
Things
I
change
got-
year to year.
I've just got
Sounds
a girlfriend
interesting.
that I've got to negotiate with, but Jake's a little different. Alex won't be able to join us this year actually because he's expecting his first
Oh, cool.
shortly before Jorts.
Oh, wow.
But yeah, I don't know how you do it, Jake. You gotta.
I mean, there was two twin babies just screaming for the first 10 minutes of this episode. So
Oh my gosh.
you just keep drinking, you know?
Yeah, that will get you through it.
Yeah, he's got 2. His son's a goalie, and he travels all around the country for ice hockey. We were just talking
Cool.
tonight. He goes everywhere. He's every weekend.
I was actually just up in Aston for the playoffs this weekend, so
Mhm.
we're up
Good.
there all the time.
Yeah.
Hockey life everywhere.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's crazy, but I had to negotiate for this one. I got lucky because just as we started planning this, my wife came to me and she said, "Hey, my girlfriend's invited me on a girls' trip to Nashville for like 4 days. Would that be okay?" Sure, yes. Yeah, you go. I want you to just have the best time of your life. And then like 2 days later, I was like, "Hey, so we have this idea for a bike trip. You're going to Nashville, right?" So
Smart.
I kind of got clearance that way.
Dude, bottle it up and just run.
Yes.
All we got to do is figure out how to get to New York.
Yeah, right.
Hopefully, I can negotiate that.
We
with my
talked to
other-
Donnie. Donnie's trying to put his cabin up on Airbnb so you can get you can reserve it. If not, just go to the restaurant. He's probably there. Say, I need a place to stay. He'll run you
Cool.
down. Book a site at Po Patty and
Right. Yeah, Po
Raystown. You can Saxton up to Raystown. There's plenty of camping.
Yeah. Do you have to book in advance the Raystown area?
Probably, yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
you could probably just stay at Bearcat's bungalow, but his father-in-law Brad, just tell him, hey, we're with the Dirtbags. So he'll give you a case of Budweiser and be like, "Come on in, buddy. Got some ribs on the grill."
In there full time. That's where he lives?
It's their cabin.
Okay.
Cool.
It's Bearcat is a partner of mine. We started the Pennsylvania Dirtbags, and his father-in-law owns the cabin. Bearcat is his name. He's an MMA fighter on that, but we stayed there, and I'm sure if you want by, it's right on the route. If you wanted to crash there, set up a tent, crash there.
Right.
He will make you dinner and definitely provide you enough beer.
That's great.
That's cool.
So
tell me
what do
you're
you
a
guys
dirtbag.
do when you're not cycling? What do you do for your kind of livelihood?
Hey,
I
Andy?
work at a very large pharmaceutical company. It's pretty boring, and I'm in the law department. Yeah.
I'm just a dirtbag that drives a shitty van.
Professional dirtbag.
Full time.
Gotcha. I just went a little bit more because we did that Smoky Mountain trip. You'll see when part 2 comes out.
Right.
We really had no idea what we were getting into. I figured we go to the Smoky Mountains and like Smokey the Bear mascots would be out there like waving at us, and there'd be concession stands everywhere. Oh no, you're out in the frickin' nowhere land.
Yeah.
So just to get a little insight as to what it's really going to be like is really helpful.
Yeah.
Yeah, dude, get on Google Maps. Google Maps is amazing. Like, I guess we're millennials. You just put the route in and just zoom in, and it'll show you where stores are at. And then, or if you just pass the store, just stop.
Yeah.
Stop, fill up your water, fill up your food, and keep going. But it really helps if you know if there's something in the next 10 to 100 miles.
I got a question. What percentage of it was actually road? A small percentage of it is
Very small.
very small.
I think they said like 80% was gravel.
Oh,
something
that's
like that.
cool. I'm gonna like that.
So
For sure.
the route that's linked on that video, is that the official route?
Yeah, so you can go to padirtbags.com.
Yep.
There is a tab for the pants route. It's going to link the video. It's got a little synopsis of what's going on. It has GPX files for the whole route, a ride with GPS for the whole route, and then individual GPX routes for day 1, 2, 3, and 4 of what we did. And it's pretty dialed in. Like I said, Large Marge, Maggie, and Erie. She was the first gopher in the Pennsylvania Grand Canyon. It looped her on the what's the trail called? The Rim Trail. It's a hiking trail. And on us, Strava keeps trying to reroute you into this hiking trail, but you want to stay on the road. So everything's pretty dialed in now. A couple gophers went ahead of you guys and took care of the problem. So plug those into your computer.
Right.
Use Google Maps. Check out where to stop, or use where we stopped, and just send her.
Cool.
Awesome.
Cool. Great job. Neat. Well, thanks a lot.
Thank you so much.
I guess hang tight when I hang up here just to make sure we get everything recorded. So let me finish it off here. But thanks again so much for everything.
Yeah, thanks for having us, guys.
Yeah, thanks, guys.